but I guess we'll just have to see what it looks like. So we've taken our Bob Ross liquid clear and we've covered our entire canvas except for this little spot down here at the bottom. I wanted to show you guys just what the difference looked like from a dry canvas to what the canvas looks like wet. And it's from our Bob Ross liquid clear, which looks a whole lot like that. Sorry we're a few minutes late and we're never on time anyway. As soon as we went to turn on the camera, I had to open my phone up, and when I opened it, it like force closed everything, and then I had to redo YouTube and reset it up. So, sorry for all of the delays. Now that our canvas is fully covered, make sure you guys go to paintwithjosh.etsy.com. That's going to be one of the most important links you're going to hear tonight. We're doing 30% off on all canvas paintings like this one, which will be available after the show. When I list it, it's going to be 30% off the original price, which brings it down to about $150. We have a lot of other canvases that have been marked down, and then we have 20% off on all of our prints and shirts and hats and all sorts of stuff. Am I even wearing the right hat, or is this my HLL hat?
That's the right hat.
Oh, it is the right hat, okay. I was wearing my old hat before, earlier today. So, again, Bob Ross Liquid Clear, got to get our canvas nice and wet. And you just basically put a little bit in different areas and then stretch it all the way to its max limit. So we've got Bailey in the house with us tonight because London's out driving. We miss her, of course. Everybody misses London, but we have Bailey. So Bailey will, everybody loves Bailey too. But she'll be reading your comments in real time. So if you have a question or anything that you need to ask, or hey, how did you do this? Or can you show me how to do that? Or blah, blah, blah. Bailey will be able to read it out to us in real time. Hang on, right?
Yep.
And then she'll say it to me, and then I'll say it to you guys, and we'll be able to, instead of me going reading the comments and going, yeah, okay, thanks, pal. So, tell us where you're watching from. Is this the first Paint with Josh video you've ever watched? Is it not? Is it your second or third or 100th? Do you watch all the time? Now, just quickly, we have a couple cups filled with our odorless mineral spirits. This is a company called Clean Strip. We also use Jasco. Both equally well odorless mineral spirits, so you don't want it to stink up your whole house, right? And then down in the bucket, the old bucket, we have a 5-gallon bucket with a golf ball basket down around the bottom of it. And that's what I had when I first started painting in the garage. It was like one of the things that I found. And I was like, yeah, I bet you I could use this. And now 3 years, a little bit over 3 years later, we're still using the same old bucket. That's kind of cool. So, dab our brush off on a paper towel. I'm going to show you what colors we have. Excuse me, Friday night freestyle. It comes out. Jeez. It's always after dinner, and then I'm like, ugh, come up here with a full gut. So, excuse my manners, everybody. So, we have cadmium yellow, bright red, dark sienna, which is the lighter color of the two browns, the phthalo blue, alizarin crimson, midnight black, and titanium white. Don't need a whole lot for this canvas, for this, scene. Just a few of these, and we may not even need all of them, all the amount of paint that we put out today. As my red is trying to mix with my yellow already. It's all runny. Look, it's going on a marathon, this guy. I should have taken the time, if I was on time, to prep the tubes, right? Just very lightly kind of pushing into it, kind of sopping up all that oil. And then we're going to toss it away. My white is runny too. That Winsor & Newton white is normally very thick. This one's been kind of runny as of late. As of late, right? Take it, maybe squish it out like that. There we go. We're going to do the same with our red. And one more time with the yellow. Now we're going to get nice and zoomed in, so don't go anywhere. I want to show you how we're going to prep the canvas, and then we're going to zoom in nice and close so it's big and full screen, and all you see is about this much of my nose, right? That's all you really want to see is about this much of my nose. And then we're going to get going. So don't leave, and if you do leave, come back in about 5 minutes and we'll be ready to go. Let's see. Now, I want to prep our canvas to use the Paint with Josh cake pan. Bailey, where is everyone watching from? Do we have any comments or anything? I always have to slow down.
Stuart said, hey from UK.
Hey from the UK. Okay, nice big 8-inch by 2-inch deep cake pan. Doesn't have to be the same. You can get a 6-inch or a 4-inch, whatever you want. And then we're going to kind of fill in this as our moon, as we're going to become our moon. So we need to sort of remember where it is onto the canvas, and then we're going to drop a lot of crimson right into that spot. So we're going to pull it out. Okay, keep going, Bailey, with the names.
Robert said, Hi from Phoenix, Arizona.
Hi from Phoenix. How hot is it in Phoenix? Did you guys get any rain? Because we had a killer rainstorm last night. Like lightning, multiple strikes per second for an hour it went on. It was crazy. So keep going, Bailey. Names? Let's take a little bit of that red. Keep going. Our crimson down here.
Yvonne said hello, everyone.
Hello, Yvonne. There we go. You guys, remember to go over to Yvonne is Santorini's. Sorry, what is it? What the? I'm totally drawing a blank. I'll remember. All right, Santorini's by Yvonne. Right, Yvonne. Santorini's by Yvonne. She does these very cool. Bailey, can you hand me one? Even that one I painted on right there. That one. So it's these very cool, soft, flat, white stones that look like this until you decide to do like an abstract painting on them. But they're very cool. They dry very fast. We've done full scenes on them, just wet on wet oil. They're really great, and they're awesome. Sorry, Bailey. Yeah, like this one. This one did a full scene on it like that. You know what I mean? Save the back to sign, or do another scene on the back, and then go leave it in the park somewhere for somebody to find. It's a really cool little thing. And she's got tons of them. She usually sells them in packs, so you get different sizes for, I think it's like $40 to $60. And they're really neat, and they're cool little canvases. I love them. So we're going to be doing a video of those coming up. I don't know when, but soon. We'll be doing a video of one of those soon. All right, so we've taken our moon, right, our big moon shape, made sure we covered in past where we think our moon is going to be. That way we don't have to go back, right? And then we put a little bit of that crimson down in here, and for the majority, the whole rest of the canvas is black, as of right now. We're going to wash off that brush, get all the crimson out of there. It's nasty. Okay, people, hit me with some names, B.
Robert said yes, it rained like crazy. Temperature now 98.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, it rained. It got us down to like 77 in the morning, and then we got back up to 90 something, maybe 100, I don't even know. But it got so humid.
Right now.
105. And it was so humid in the morning, especially. The sun got up and it cooked off all the clouds, just boiled them straight off, and then it was just hot as death.
It says
a little bit of our phthalo blue.
It says 105 degrees, mostly sunny.
Mostly sunny, yeah. It means there's no more clouds. There was tons of clouds in the morning, and then by the time I looked up, it was like 2 o'clock, and I was like, I can't see. There's not a single cloud in the sky. All right, taking our phthalo blue up into the corners. Read me some more names, B, while we're still prepping, while we still have time to answer. Let's see. Don't want to over mix it into your crimson though, because then you're going to have a purple moon versus a bright orange moon, okay?
Yvonne said, thank you, Josh, and of course, Bailey, for the crimson.
You're welcome, you're welcome. We appreciate the stones. Yvonne sends us giant packs of these stones.
They're huge.
Huge packs of stones. I mean, one of them's right here. This is the biggest one I've ever seen. This is what I plan to paint on, but I want to paint it black first. And it's a 12 by 12 Santorini stone, and it's got some weight to it. But it's a great little canvas. You know, she sends them in all different sizes. You'll get little small ones. Some of them, and most packs will have a larger one or two large ones in there, and then a bunch of little small ones for the kiddos to paint on and stuff. But they're really fun. You guys should really check them out. They are fun to do. Bailey, you should run down real quick and get that one that you bedazzled, or those two that you did.
Yeah.
Yvonne was asking me about those earlier today. So in the meantime, while Bailey's gone, we've taken our alizarin crimson in a big spot, big enough to cover whatever pan or circular object you're going to use for your moon. In my case, this is gigantic, right? So we had to make a big old circle of crimson in there. And then for the most part, we put our phthalo blue around the edge. Now, we're going to be using yellow and brown and red. So with the yellow and the blue, we might get a little bit of green, which would look kind of spooky and cool. And with the yellow and the crimson, we're going to get the most beautiful, gorgeous orange color you've ever seen. So get ready. Get your stuff out. Get your canvas prepped. And if not, watch first and then go back and try it, right? We always say that. Because a lot of times I'll be like, okay, guys, we're going to put in a lake right here. And then you put a lake in, and then I change my mind and go a different way. So be careful. It's happened before. We always suggest you watch the video first, see what we do, and then kind of try to repaint it, right?
I found a bigger stone.
A bigger stone. Let's see, Rick, before we get going real fast. Any day. Just get the ones that you've done already, B. Just the ones you've done. I've already shown the big stone. Let's see this one. So that one's very cool. It says Bailey. Very neat. All kind of charms and different stuff and numbers. These are things that mean a lot to her, apparently. Gorgeous. I mean, they're cool little things. And if you painted it and then stuck some things to it, they're neat. And how'd you do it? With a hot glue gun, Bailey?
Yeah, and then I made that one.
Yeah, it's kind of like a spider web with a heart in the middle of it. With beads. That's way cool.
It
You can
took me
see it's like...
forever.
Yeah, right? Very neat. Okay, let's get zoomed in. And then we're going to get the show on the road. Did we wash this? I think we washed it. Oh yeah, we washed it. Still though, you have to dab all that color out onto a paper towel. And how I have mine, just for future reference, if you've never seen what my table looks like, and this is your first video, I have paper towels laid out across the table, and then they kind of fold over the edge of the table, and I have them held down with tape, right? And that way, when I'm hitting my brush and drying it, I'm hitting it on a corner, on an edge. Just like that. That way you'll pick up all that color. You might not be able to see it, like, we'll add more. Here we go. Look at all the color still in the brush, and I've already dabbed it out a few times, right? But we don't need to make sure it's 100% dry. It doesn't have to be 100% fully dry in order for it to work. You almost want a little bit of slickness in it to help the paints blend and everything. So let's get zoomed in. Let's see what we're doing. Get zoomed in over here. Wow, that Facebook camera's barely even, in the correct spot. There we go. I don't know why it does that. It like decides where to crop it to. What'd you say, Bailey?
It decides on where it wants to go.
Yeah. It's like, where do you want to crop to? I don't want to get too close. You're too out of focus. All right, coming in on YouTube. Let's see. We're going to go over here. Try not to kill the whole thing. There we go.
I'm going to paint something with you, too.
I've always got to mess with this thing. It's just never easy, is it? Can't ever just be easy for me. No. Always has to be crazy. All right, now guys, you got to tell me on Facebook if we're coming out of focus, or if it's blurry, or if we lose sound or signal or anything. You got your Wi-Fi off to your phone?
Yeah.
All right, we have literally turned off every electronic thing in the house to try to get as much bandwidth as possible. All right, now we're going to take a little fan brush. Doesn't matter what size your fan brush is. It's going to look just like this, right? I prefer a sort of a stiff one. Not real hard, but you don't want a soft, like these. Very soft and flappy, right? There's not a lot of like body to these. This, a little bit tougher to do that with, right? So I like a little stiff brush, a little stiffer. Stiffer than your average bear. Okay, we're going to get a little bit of white. We're going to come over here, we're going to get a little bit of yellow. Just the yellow, don't mix it with the red yet. Just the yellow, and it's gonna be gorgeous right on the edge of the brush. Can everybody see that? It's fantastic. I don't know where to put it. Over here, over here? Who knows? Okay, we're gonna get the yellow on the edge of the brush. Gonna grab our cake pan or your Dixie cup or whatever. Stay inside of our red circle that we had made. Or we're gonna kinda have a multicolored moon, which would also be cool. Now we're gonna basically put the same amount of pressure all the way around. If you push harder in one spot, it's going to widen out the bristles of the brush. And if you push less, it's going to be thinner. Okay, so we're going to push the same distance all the way around. And remember, it doesn't even have to continue all the way down. You can stop it right there. It's going to be so gorgeous. Oh my goodness. Now come back up here, try to line it up so it's the same width again. Stop right there, pull it away. My goodness, look at that. It's like a Rastafari moon. You got the yellow and the red and the green. Because where we touch with the blue, right guys? What does it do with yellow and blue? Makes green. I'm sure there's a rhyme for that. Like, what do you do with the yellow and blue? Oh, we make green, but it doesn't rhyme. So I'm not a poet. I never claimed to be. Never claimed to be a poet. Okay, this is why we wear gloves, because I get so dirty. Look at that moon, though. That's really cool. All right, now we're going to take the same fan brush, because we haven't washed it off. It's got all that stuff still on it. And it's the proper shape. If you look at it, it's kind of curved like a circle. So we're going to come up to the edge. Don't go outside the edge. And we're going to drag across with these long swipes, sort of at a downward, slight downward angle, right? So we're going to flip the brush over because it's gotten very crimson-y over here, and I'd like it to be a little bit more yellow, which is going to make our moon a little bit more bright orange, and it's going to be fantastic. Okay, now we're going to get to the edge. The more we mix around with that blue and stuff, the more it's going to go green. and purple in different places. So depending on the color of your moon, you got to work at it, right? Just keep working at it, working at it, working at it, working at it until you get something that looks like that, right? Come at it from this side, just with the same old dirty brush. Doesn't even have to be clean. Really cool. Left a whole little design in the middle, right? Now I'm trying to make these like smiley faces. This is an over exaggeration, right? But that's what it is. It's a slight downward and then upward pull, just like this. Almost like we're making a circle, but we're only touching on the bottom half of the circle, right? Now we're gonna take a clean dry brush, and this is gonna make it nice and soft. Right? Then we'll be able to tell what our color looks like, what we have to add, where we need to add anything. Do we need to add some craters? Do we need to do anything? What can we do? We can literally do anything on this canvas, right? It is our canvas. We're in charge, so yours can look totally different. You can have a different color moon, or different mountains, or different clouds, or whatever. You know what I mean? Anything you want is possible. A little bit of white and a little bit more yellow because I want to brighten up that orangey color. All right, we're going to come in, just add our yellow in. Again, it's going to want to go dark as soon as it starts to touch that. So let's come back, get a little bit more white. Right on the brush, back into the yellow, couple swipes, come back down, and then poof, we're going to have all of our light on this one side of the moon, and it's going to fade off into the distance. Gonna be gorgeous. Remember, don't go outside the lines. If you start going too fast, you're gonna wanna go outside the lines, and then it's very hard to fix, right? Very hard to fix. Come back with our 1-inch brush, just because it's small and manageable, and we're gonna make it softer. Just by touching it, same motion though. You can't just pull straight across. You have to make that same movement with the brush, that same downward and then upward little smiley face movement. That's what makes the planet look round. Also having all of our shadowy effects. Same thing. Along the edge. All right, this side doesn't have to be as bright, so don't try to make it as bright. It can be darker. You can work that darkness all the way back across if you wanted to until it just blends in on this natural kind of curve, just like that. Whew. Fantastic! This yellow line around the outside is really cool. It's almost like an atmosphere around the edge of the planet. Okay, is anybody saying anything, babe? I forget if you don't say anything. Remember, you gotta make those lines soft though. You don't want them to stand out. Any brush marks are gonna stand out like crazy. So soft. Very cool.
I think it's Bobby, maybe? I don't know.
Okay.
Sorry if I say your name wrong. She said I need to try this. She said shared. She said, oh my god, I missed you. I need to save this.
Thank you. So every time you come outside the line, you can take your filbert brush and just the littlest, smallest bit, and it almost act like an eraser. That's how it be. Now let's take a step back. We're gonna look real quick, make sure everything's good. The camera looks good.
Just look, I'm doing little minions.
YouTube camera looks good. Especially since we're not gonna go much higher than that. That's very cool. Very cool. Okay, now we can add some clouds. That's why I left the bottom unfinished, right? Because it doesn't matter what happens out the bottom. Look at that. It's like a little Bobby Mazalda painting, like a little tornado coming out the bottom. Very cool. Right, because it doesn't happen. So what's going on down here? We're gonna have all these clouds that kind of go across. You guys have seen the painting. You've seen the painting we're trying to recreate today, right? If you haven't, it looks very much like this. There we go. Just taking the light side, pushing it this way, taking the dark side, pushing it this way. You can move this paint and make yours look however you want it to look. Right? Blend it all. Just don't leave it, don't have it all one color. Have little differences like that. It makes it look more like a round thing versus a very flat two-dimensional object. We're trying to make it like 3D over here. Look at that. Very cool. Can even take a little bit of our white and we start in the center like this. All right, and then we'll just push this guy. Kind of push him around. Just a little bit of a highlight on the front of this ball, right? There we go. Make it nice and soft. Don't overdo it because you'll make it go away. And now we have this little rounded edge to the side of our ball, which looks very neat. Very neat. And we've got our dark side over here. This is mostly going to be covered in mountains, so it doesn't really matter about the edge on that side. You do want to have it be about the same, and it's easy enough just to do that with your brush and have it kind of fill in all of those little pieces. Very, very cool. You can take a little bit more crimson, just straight crimson if you wanted little darker areas. And just put that straight crimson onto the brush, right onto the thing, and then we'll have these little differences in our color. Should be very cool. And again, we're going to have these clouds at the bottom, so it doesn't very much matter. Watch. Oh no, it came out the moon, and over here, it doesn't really matter, right? It's kind of cool. Looks like Sputnik. Coming out like that. So, very simple. Let's wash off our brush. And you work at yours until you think it looks good. And as long as you have differences, right? Light, sort of light, dark, differences around the whole thing. There's green, there's yellow, there's red, there's all sorts of stuff happening there. Okay, now we're going to take our white on our brush. And the reason why we put these colors down underneath is because when we use our white paint, it's going to mix together and make all these little beautiful things come to life. So, remember, for anybody just joining, this weekend only, 20 to 30% off in the Etsy store, paintwithjosh.etsy.com. Now, we're going to take this brush. I don't want to go too far over the blue before we hit this beautiful crimson-y area. So, it's almost like we need just a few more of those little white guys. Sorry. I get distracted. I look over and I see what the painting actually looks like, and I go, and these guys just needed to be a little bit more pronounced. And then we'll get back to it. Again, you have to work at it until you like the way that it looks. Doesn't matter what everyone else thinks. Doesn't matter how many likes you get. Doesn't matter how many comments you got on that one or what your family says. If you don't like the way that it looks, you're going to always look at it and go, I could have done that one better. Or I wish I would have stopped, or I would have done this or that or whatever. It always happens. So work at it until you like the way that it looks. Okay, now we're going to come back in. We're going to grab up that white on our brush since we barely took any of it off. And we're going to come in and just make a bunch of clouds. Just a whole big mess of clouds. Look at this. Right? Leaving open areas around the whole thing, top and bottom. That way it'll grow together. Now we've got all that blue onto this brush. If we come up into here, it's going to change and become a different color. So let's go back in, grab a little bit more white. We're going to try to mask that blue just a littlest bit till we come in again there, see a little bit wider, and then we're fine. We can do whatever we want up here. Doesn't very much matter what's happening in our clouds. As long as we have a good amount of space that we can blend down into, right? You got to have these areas of darkness in order to make it look cool.
Dad,
Right,
Lisa's asking if you use oils.
Yes, these are all oil paints. That's kind of neat right there. Just making a mess, literally making a mess on the canvas, coming back and just making it soft. This guy is so far away, he's going to just act as some background color to whatever we put in the front, right? Very, 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 very far away. Now, I'm going to get a clean brush, and we're going to come up here, and let's start in this nice pink, pretty area so we don't go blue too fast. We don't want to have purpley clouds. Look at that. Just this whole little misty, soft little area. Foggy little bit. Look at that. Don't even cover all those areas, right? Leave it. You don't have to cover them all the way. We don't have to over mix it to where everything is all the same. That's not going to look cool if everything was all the same. Right? Come up here, grab that, start to pull it down, just barely kind of mixing it up. What does it look like if we did that? What would it look like if we did this? And then by the time you get done, you've got these gorgeous clouds. You can take and swipe them up, and then swipe them to the side. Don't hit our moon though. You don't want to hit the edges of that moon. Just like that. Nice, soft, filled with depth, filled with shadows because we didn't over mix. Right? You can go back and add light and brighten up an area very simply by just taking a little bit of white paint and dabbing it onto that area in the places where we want it to light up differently. Going back with the same old brush and just doing it a little bit less, a little softer. Maybe it comes up, maybe it's growing all crazy. Right? And that's the thing. If you put too much paint on, you're going to have issues. If you don't put enough on, it's not going to be bright enough. Just like that. But again, not even connecting all the pieces. Doesn't have to connect. It looks fantastic. Just the way it is. Swipe them to the side, Joshy. Just like that. All right, now we need to add in a little bit of a mountain. That other one had a mountain, so we should put a little small piece of mountain in there. A little bit of black, a little bit of crimson, a little bit of blue. All right, scrape up, give ourselves an area to work. Mix this guy up. We don't need a whole lot of paint, so you don't need a lot of each color. Not yet, anyway. We will. So, again, if this is your first time watching our first Paint with Josh video you've ever seen, thank you for tuning in. And secondly, what's happening? You can still do it, my watch says.
Victoria said great advice.
Thank you. And we're going to come up with our knife, just kind of dumping it in sideways, right? Not trying to hold it up, just trying to let it, almost like we were just pulling it sideways like that and kind of maneuvering it around. I find it's a very cool way to let the paint break versus trying to do it at a different angle or, you know, and look at that. It's cool little things happen inside against all this cloudy background. It's going to be very neat. Look at that. We didn't even need to fix that guy down there. Right? I'm going to take him, scrape up all the paint, try to pull it down as far as we can, because we don't need this guy to grow very far. I don't want him to become humongous. We just want him off there in the distance. Now, in order to get any paint to stick to this, we have to soften it like we've done with everything else, right? So we do that by pulling it out. Very soft at different angles, so kind of down and to the side, or in a loop-de-loop, or coming over this, so maybe he starts going this way, right? And then this guy comes down in front and goes the other way, because why not? A mountain is a big jumbled up pile of rocks. It's not going to act like everything's just straight down, oh, straight, 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 straight. You can't do that. Come on, guys. Taught you better than that, haven't we? There we go. Nice, soft little bit of a mountain off in the distance. And this one even looks like it's already starting to be engulfed in the clouds, which is exactly what we want. But the first thing we need to do is highlight it. So let's grab up a little bit of that whitish paint. Whitish, I say, because we keep mixing little colors into it. Look at my brown. It's like sliding all the way off the palette. My goodness. Don't need the brown yet. So let's take our white, let's take our crimson, mix that guy together so we have this kind of cool color, sort of the same color as the moon that we have back here. Can you see my palette and everything on the screen, B? Yeah. Okay. That's going to be the highlights for our very, very, very small, the shadows for our very, very, very small mountain. And this yellow and white mixture, which is going to be very bright, but as we mix it in with that same color that was still on the knife, it's going to dull it down just enough to where it's going to be perfect. Oh, it's going to be gorgeous, guys. Okay, now we're going to do our shadows first. Let's grab up that pink. Then we're going to come over here. I like doing the shadows first because you can always go back and cover over whatever you don't like with your highlights and then shape your mountain with your highlight. But if you do the highlights first and then you have to come back in and sneak in just a little thing, it's hard for me sometimes, so I imagine it would be hard for you guys. Just again, very softly shaping, turning the knife, pulling it down, doing different things just on half of the peak. Right? Not 100% dead straight half, but about half of it is going to be covered in shadow. Got a little ridge, maybe goes down that way, right? Start to guide where you want your highlights to be. Maybe this guy, it's got a real steep little piece down there that got lit up. And maybe it comes down and it hits there's an edge right here. Look at this. All down the back. Again, not covering up all the dark blue, not covering up every single thing, because we have to have some areas for highlights and shadows. Look at that. Very cool, very steep little thing going on here. Fill all that up with highlights so we can add, maybe there's a little cliff back in here, like a dead straight, just a straight fall. The moonlight's got a real tough time reaching all the way down there, right? Now we come in with that yellow color, and we decide maybe on this side, look at that. That gorgeous yellow with the pink playing off together. It makes it look just like light coming off of this moon. Fantastic. A little bit over here on our yellow, just kind of very lightly, not trying to go over too much, not trying to touch too hard. Just trying to pull down in different ways. Very, very, very small amount of paint. And we're not trying to cover every single thing either, right? Even this little bit of dark black area in between, that's a very deep dark shadow. You got to leave those in there. You cover all that, what was the point of painting on a black canvas? Now come up here a little bit on each half of our peaks, right? Just a little piece gets lit up. right on the edge. And then you kind of shape what you want it to look like. Right, so maybe this guy came down a little bit, but again, saving those deep, dark areas. And not every piece of highlight or anything has to match with another piece or meet up. Doesn't have to work like that. There we go, that section got a little bit of snow. Very straight line right there though, I don't like that. There we go. Just mixing it up. All you gotta do is make it funky looking, because that's what nature is. All right, maybe here, got lit up with a bit of that lighter color. And we can see why we'd put that ridge on the side very softly, right? Just like that. We got this cool little mountain starting to grow out of nothing, like out of not even having an idea. We didn't have an idea. What idea? Did you have an idea? Because I didn't have an idea. Bailey, did you have an idea?
No.
I didn't have no idea. We're literally making up as we go. Well, on this one, we sort of had an idea. We're redoing another painting, but most of the time, you just let it rip. See what it looks like. See how very lightly I'm holding this brush right here? Just with my thumb, just kind of holding it, not gripping it super hard. And we're just going very softly up the mountain in the opposite direction of how we came down with our knife. So if we went down this way, we're gonna very softly go up. It just kind of blurs that area, makes it soft. Right, very softly up our hill, yet up this way. Because we came down like this, so we have to go up this way, right? Very softly. Start to make our little circles, just grabbing the last little bit of color at the bottom, any little bit of bright color that'll light up. And then all of a sudden, we can throw in, it's nice and soft, it's so soft, there's no amount of thick paint up there, which means we can come back in with our clouds and get all up into that area, right? Again, leaving room for things to grow. You don't have to. And sometimes pulling little fingers off like this gives them a cool look when you go to blend it out. Like this one's going to connect into that one. Very simply done. Okay, I'm going to come into here because it's got that pink. I want to go pink first. And come up into right into our little mountainy misty area, right? We have to make this area soft so these clouds don't overly mix in with what's back there. Very lightly, very softly. Just like that. Again, not overdoing it, not doing anything. We have this whole thing that's just kind of hidden in this bank of clouds. It's so tall, it's poking up through the top. So tall that no one can reach it. Just like that. Very straight, very jaggedy little thing here. Very, very jaggedy. Mick Jaggedy. Is it Jaggedy or Jaggerty? It's not any of those, Dad. There we go.
I think it's
Perfection. All right, now again, we're going to paint a bigger mountain on this side, so get ready. Prepare yourself. Dragging a little bit of that yellow color down, just helps it blend it in with everything else. Very cool how we have this little shelf right here. Cool little shelf of yellow, or at least lighter color paint. Even if we had it like that, it looks neat that it kind of goes down into nothing, right? Very cool little thing. Again, the light from everywhere isn't going to hit everything all at the same time. And you can make these guys softer and more blended with every single time you touch it. It'll go a little bit different and a little bit softer until all of a sudden it'll change completely into a different color, or you'll blend it so many times that it'll eventually just go away. Softly into the mist. Bam, bam, bam. Very cool. Doesn't have to, if it's too much yellow for you, you can always go back over it very softly and it will mix with those colors that are underneath and change. That's all we're doing right here. Kind of mixing the colors, letting it change, adding little highlight bits in different areas. And then we can always go back very lightly, very softly. Same thing, mix it up, change up the look, and now it's just so cool. And that's what's going to be different about yours and mine. We're all going to have these differences that, to me, are what make art really, really, really neat. Because I can try to paint, already this one looks different than the one that I tried to paint the other, or that I painted last Saturday. Already looks different. So, and we're trying to do the same thing. But you just see stuff, right? Every once in a while you see something and you go, ooh, now wouldn't that look cool if it was a little darker right here? In little different areas. Real deep dark shadows, because this is a night scene after all, right? So you get those real deep dark areas. Sometimes you throw a little bit of black, just straight up black in there, and it'll look like a cave or some sort of formation. Very cool. Just deepens and darkens, more detail. Right? Somebody will be like, oh, he must have spent hours on that one. Look at all the detail in those mountains. Well, you guys know here, just dropping a little bit extra, a little bit of something, and it'll change everything. And then you go back and you look. And if you're wondering, if you're looking at me and you're wondering, why does he not look back at the camera, right? I have a camera, a TV over here that shows me your guys' angle. My angle is so much glare from this light that I can't really even see anything past this side of the moon. I can't see it. That's why you always see me do this or this, because I can't see on this thing. So, if I'm looking over here, that means I'm trying to see what you guys see, an actual view without having to go like this and get into your way, right? Somebody I saw, Dave Mann, was like, oh, you never looked at the camera, you don't make eye contact. I'm like, you want me to make eye contact with you? I'm like, hi guys. How's that gonna help? It's literally unhelpful. And it takes time away, me looking back and forth at the camera. Like, I can look over here, I can see what you see, right? It's like a triangle. It's a trifecta of views happening right here. And then we can make small adjustments and paint it differently, just instead of going like this. Okay, guys, you're right. Over here. No, this looks much better in the video, right, Bailey? How's the video look? Does it look good when I'm just all in front of the canvas? Yeah. And no one can see anything? Looks fantastic, right? Yeah, and you don't need to see. You don't have to see to paint. Okay. Now, this next one's going to be a little bit closer, so we're going to use different colors, darker colors, right? We're going to kind of change, maybe still use that pinkish color, but use it as the highlight and go with a nice dark brown as our low lights, our shadowy colors. So again, just making up more of the basic purpley shadow, the black, the crimson, and the blue. My favorite three colors to make a shadow with. You can do anything. You can put brown in there if you wanted to. It's really not going to make a difference. We're going to overly mix it so much that they're all going to be this one color. Now, we don't need to add any white. We don't need to do anything. We want it nice and thick and goopy and nasty. We're going to grab up our thing and just start to shape what our mountain looks like now, right? So, that one before, and some of it can come in front of our deal. So let's see, we're going to add in just a little bit of a peak, kind of come down. We had our edge over here, and we started coming down that way. Let's see if our peak goes off. I don't want to lose all of the clouds back there, right? That's why we painted them, so they stand out. Look at this, looks like a little guy. Little face, little nose, mouth. Anybody see that? No one's even paying attention anymore. Bailey's not reading comments. It's fine, though. It's fine. Any comments, Bailey?
Danielle sent 200 stars.
Holy cow, Danielle. Thank you so much for that. We very much appreciate that. That extra star money really goes towards helping buy canvases and sometimes it's helping buy food. So we really count on the generosity of everybody, and we very much appreciate everyone's kindness and their support in our kind of painting journey. We appreciate you guys more than you know. I'm going to take a little bit of dark brown, come down here, just not the dark brown, our dark color, just so we can push those other clouds back, and now we have a face that we can start to work with. Here's our horizon. Back off in here as the clouds are on the edge of the horizon. Then we've got our thing. Look at that. Looks like a face too, Bailey. Look at that. Doesn't that look like a face where I'm pointing on the thing? Look at the camera. Hang on. Yeah. It's like a 10-second delay. Look at right there where I'm pointing. Look at right there. It's like a nose. Is that Voldemort? Who knows? Okay. Now we're going to darken it up as we come down, but we have to kind of play off of creating where our stairs are going to come out of. Then they're going to come over here. Then they're going to come down. They're going to go behind a rock. They're going to come over here. And then they're going to come down again. So there's a lot of stairs in this scene. And initially when I painted the scene, I didn't think about adding the stairs. I didn't even see it until I was already 3/4 of the way done with the mountain, and then realized, shoot, it would look way cool if I could do stairs all the way up the mountain. And it did. It looked awesome. And that's why we're painting it today. We had so many people message and say, is there going to be a tutorial for this one? Like, we need a tutorial for this one. Is there going to be a tutorial? That's what happens. Every time I don't film, I hate myself for not filming because you guys want a tutorial for it. And I was like, no one's even going to care about this one. You know, it's no big deal. And then everyone's like, oh my God, it's the best thing ever. Do you have a video? And I go, shoot, I don't have a video. I'm sorry that I don't have a video. But that's the way the cookie crumbles. I didn't think anybody would give a crap about this one, and everyone does. So, look at that. It's all changed up now. Again, we're going to try to piece it out before we even highlight the sucker where our mountain cave is going to live first. That's where we got to firstly place our cave, which is going to be back in here. So a little bit of the same mountain mixture that we made, all that dark black color, and just make like a little doorway shape, right? Doesn't even have to do anything. Right? Just a nice dark doorway. You can be as big as you want or as small as you want. It really doesn't matter. But once you're there, then you decide what your scene is going to look like, where your stairs are going to be. Right? So we need a little bit of dark drop off right here. Just like that. And then we'll come down again. We'll go around this thing and then down it, right? As we come over this way. And then as we get down here, our steps will come and they'll become bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Or should we go down this side? Yeah. Now we're going to do that. We're going to come down here. We're going to go around. Maybe we lose the steps right here. And there's a rock right in there. There's a big old rock. Right? And then the steps come down this way and then they'll come out towards us. And that will be more perspectively right. Yeah. It'll be like Gollum's stairs. What does everyone have to say, Bailey? Since I've got to come back here and read my own comments. Let's see.
I'll send you some stars.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys. We definitely appreciate the stars. They go towards, a lot of things. Now let's make a little bit of a shadow, but we don't want to go blue. We always try to do this blue shadow for nighttime paintings, but we don't want to do that. We want to do that crimson-y shadow. All right, so a little bit of white, a little bit of crimson, a little bit of red, just to keep it kind of red and not as pink, right? A little bit more red, it seems. Mix all that up because we need a fair amount. I never mix enough up, but we need a big enough amount to kind of start with, right? So let's come in here. If all this stuff, what did we say? Oh, the highlights are going to be brown. The shadows are going to be brown. So the highlights are going to be this color. We're going to come in here, start dropping off little things, right? Maybe over the edge of the cave. We can always go back and fix it. Is that too red? It's like too pink. It's too much pink. Let's see what a little bit of...
Pink.
Huh?
There's never too much pink.
Yeah, right. A little bit of brown and yellow to that pink. We're going to come back up here, scrape all this stuff off. Right, just like that. Very easily get rid of it. Takes off any thick amount that we have. And then we'll come up here. That's more like it. Kind of dump off. Maybe there's a thing that's like a little ledge that lived out there. And then that little ledge had a little ledge on the end of it, or a piece dangling off, something happening. Right, but if we do that, it always has to have a little piece of shadow. It's got to have a little darkness around it or underneath it. There we go. Cool little thing, like it's walking off back there. Now this guy, let's come back up here, make our little door shape. Just a little rounded shape like that. Kind of cool. Scrape off the rest of this stuff. Come back in. We need to darken up our brown. There we go. Nice deep dark shadows back here because it doesn't really see much light. Nothing's really going on back there. So just some straight up brown. And let it meet up with that lighter color orangey brown. We're going to have our cool little shadows back there. You can take some of that lighter colory brown and every so often you can just dump a little bit onto different places. And then go back and mix it till you like how it looks. Just little differences. That's all we're looking for, right? What do they call Bailey? Differences in
color.
Color, that's right. She pays attention, guys. There's the opening to the stairs. And then we can literally start to put our little drops in. Right? You got to kind of make them small enough and thin enough to be able to be climbed, right? And take them to the side. It's always cool when they go off to the side and they come down and they switch and they go around. Right? Maybe there's a platform right here and then they start going down this way. Back around the edge. See what I mean? Now in our minds we can go back in and fill in this area with our darker shadowy bits. That's some kind of dark brownish color just to have some texture in there. There we go. Nice differences. Always go back You want to make sure you stay sort of dark. And then again, you can rub it in and mix it together and make it look like mud. You know what I mean? It's not a... doesn't have to be this perfect thing. You can change it, you can add it, you can mix colors over here, you can do things over there. As long as you have, you know, Skeletor's little castle door up here, we'll be fine. Now this guy, maybe there's a whole big, like, rock. The side of the rock over here is just fallen. So let's mix up a little bit of that brown into there, just so it's a little light enough, and we'll just drop off like a ledge just by pulling it straight down, right? Down into the deep, into the darkness. A little bit of the dark color with it, just so we stay dark. There we go. It's gonna fall down into nothing. Very, very cool. A little bit of that darker color back here, just so, because we have the texture, and I want to keep the texture the same. And then you can always go back in underneath or in between your lines if it's not dark enough, you think, and go back and add a little bit of shadowing in there, just to help. Now with these guys, they're going to look kind of funky if they're just sat up there like that. So you kind of got to pull them down and shape them with little cliffs and different things. And this guy just got a little bit too much paint on it. There we go. So, bam. Let's do that. I want to take some of that lighter color as well because it's in the front of the moon, right? We're going to dump off just little pieces down the edge. This guy was way too much paint. There we go. And we just start working at it until we like how it looks. And you get this cool little piece of rocky stair happening over here. It's very neat. But it takes time to plan out, right? Got to take the time to plan it. And then look at it and go back and say, okay, we'll take a little bit of our dark in there because those already look like steps. If we just added a little bit of darkness, continue to climb up. Nice bit in there. Again, you cannot let the two bits of light touch each other too much because then it's not going to look how we want it to look. Ooh, that looks like a demon standing there. Very, very cool. I don't particularly love the opening to the door. So why don't we change the opening? Well, it's kind of cool like that, I guess. It'll have like a little bit of, there's like a rock formation in the front. There we go. Blocking it all off. Take that guy. Just little things, little differences so that the light hits it in different areas, right? Say we came down here, maybe there's a little bit of light, that same light hit on this side and lit up that spot of our mountain just by shaking it. Shake, rattle, and roll. Coming down. These cool little things. Looks like the alpine slope. A little bit of our pink came down here. Why not? Why not? It's very bright. There we go. We don't want to go too far down, though, until I know what my stairs are going to look like, because I'm going to have to go back and change. Now, look at that. We can imagine our stairs coming down. Maybe we go back around something, or we turn here and we start back, and then we work our way. It depends on what yours look like, really. But since we're nice and open in this area, we can even take it and scrape any bit of paint off that we can in that spot. Man, you can almost like make a bridge over to another bit of rock that's over here. How cool would that be? All right, let's get in with our dark right underneath the line, though. Like right under, then go down, and go down, and go down. Don't just go straight down, though. You got to move. You got to move it to the side. You got to do something with it. And then on the edges of that, out here especially, you need to have that rocky face. So pull it down, make it nice and dark. Come back in here. Maybe we got a little bit of a stair. Right there, right there, right there, and right there. Right? It look like a staircase, Bailey?
Yeah, I think it's Juliana, said, I have a question about the mountain.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you have a thick snow, how do you get the dark to peek through again?
So you would go back, kind of like we did back here with these, where we added these really dark areas into it, right? We didn't put a whole lot of paint on, and then we came back with our dark or deep dark shadows, and say this is what you want to change, make it a little bit deeper and darker back here. You can go back in with just that dark color and then change the shape of your mountain just by doing that. And then we can come in here and just make it soft, mix up our little cloud area, and all of a sudden it's got much more of a pronounced kind of shelf right there, just because we went back and added the darkness. Now, you have to start with a very, very, very little amount of paint, because the more and more that you try to lay on top of each other, the harder and harder it's going to be. That's why I'm not trying to do this whole mountain and then come back and add the stairs on top, because then it's going to be trying to put thick paint on top of a thick paint. And if Bob Ross taught us anything, it's that a thin paint will stick to a thick paint. So can't go thick on thick on thick on thick on thick all the time. Now we're going to come back in here, grab up our little bit of light, and again just start to shape what we want our... Ooh, it would look cool if it turned this way now, just based on that. And then this guy's starting to come off the other way. Get a little bit more on our knife. And then just line in, a couple little stairs off in the distance. Just start to build it. I need to make more colors. Is what we need to do.
Pam said 100 stars.
100 stars. You are the woman or man. What'd you say, baby? What was the name?
Pam.
Pam, you are the woman. Thank you. The woman. Okay, a little bit of yellow in with that brown and yellow and white. And we've got our color basically back. Now let's come up here. Oh yeah, that's a good color. Right, maybe this guy goes off, and again, if it's too hard, you don't want to push. You don't want to force it. So if it doesn't come off easily, you either have too much paint on your canvas or not enough paint on your knife to get it to drop off in a little stair shape like that. Go back to our dark, put our darkness underneath. Just it makes it a little bit more 3D. Even if you don't think it's going to help, or if you don't think, you're like, oh, it's dark enough. It's really not. It needs that bit of just straight black to be that deepest, darkest shadow. Right, and we mix our shadow colors so deep and dark that it looks straight black when you put it up against the colors up here. Very cool. You guys can see as we're coming down our opening to our little Skeletor's castle in there. Again, if that becomes not dark enough, go back in with the black and add it back in. Very cool. And then you can come back in and kind of fix what you want it to look like. Now that it's all black up there, here we go. Our stairs will stand out even better. See? Come down here. Maybe we'll go... Yeah, we'll put a drop off right here on the edge. Right? So make this guy a bigger, longer stair. He's like a platform. When you're coming down the stairs in your house and you got that middle bit, you got to turn. That's this guy right here. So he's got to be a little bit bigger of a platform. Don't want to make him too gigantic and keep him that same color as those stairs. And then we're going to pull off just a bit of him down into the darkness and overdo it, and over mix it, right? Make sure it's real deep and dark. You can go back and add in some of our dark color, our blackish color, just to mix in so we have this deep darkness happening down here.
Dad.
Yes, love.
Mom said, good evening, everyone.
Hi, Mommy.
The weather is scary. So I'm heading home.
Oh, it's scary out?
Yeah.
I wonder what's happening. Okay.
There might be another storm.
Good. Well, I heard it's supposed to rain every night this week. Mom's gonna be mad at me that I didn't say that before. I just literally remembered it. Someone said that it's supposed to rain every night this week. A little bit of crimson in here. There we go. Keeping it just a little bit darker, brownish color versus that green that the yellow is wanting to turn into.
I mean, well, now we get rainy nights. That's
yeah.
Always a good thing.
Yeah, and it's definitely our monsoon season right now. Look, our thing's going to go back behind a little mountain right here. We have to hide some of our staircase, right? Can't see everything all the time. So let's put a little highlight of a stair, maybe coming down from that. And then we're going to put a big old monster chunk of our dark in here and cut off that little piece. Have it come back, mix in there. Now it looks like our pathway is going to turn and go back behind brown. And then we'll come back in with a little bit of that kind of pinkish yellowish color and just over mix the highlights until they all mix in and change. I want it to be a different color than any of the other bits of mountain so it stands out away from itself. It kind of hides that piece. A little bit more of our brown. Let those guys mix in. And And then just change it however you see fit. It almost looks like a face right inside here too. You guys see it? I can see it. Okay, let's take a little bit of our stair color again, come back and decide maybe it picked up right there, out the back of the rock. But we have to make it small. You don't want to make them too big, right? A little bit, and then a little bit of dark underneath. Smallest little bit. We'll go back, a little bit of color. All right, just a line out like that. We're gonna start to come down our little hill, right? We can even actually cut in front of this guy again. It'd be really cool. All right, so we've got another one that comes out here. Maybe that's another little flat area where we can turn and go down. So let's scrape up jaggedly though, because we want it to look, you know, don't want it to look like it's done with a razor blade. We want it to look sort of natural. Okay, take this guy. We're gonna go back across this way, and back that way, and over here. All right, then maybe we stop again at our little middle section, and we'll turn and we'll come down the mountain again. Right, all the time, we've already pre-highlighted everything back there, so it fell into darkness and was nice. It looks great. This looks fantastic, guys.
I'm good, Miss. How are you? Hi.
There we go, perfect. All right, a little bit of that. Let's take a little bit of that pink, just because it's so bright. It's so dark right here, and it needs to be a bit brighter. So we'll just mix it in just on the one half, the front side where the moon is, right? Just mix it up a little bit, just so it's a little change, a little different. And over here, we'll see if we can't pull the slightest bit of it down, just to blend in, tell us that our rock is heading downward now, right? Going down that way, down to China, Moose Town. Moose is here, he didn't even say hello. It's terrible.
Mom said look out the window, but I don't see anything.
B, you're gonna have to go down and see if I locked the door. Make sure I didn't lock the door to the garage if Mom's home. Because I was gonna leave it open and then, not leave it open, but like leave it cracked, but then you get like paranoid that somebody's gonna roll underneath the crack and come inside the house, right? So you gotta lock the door. Yes, we're paranoid around here. Thank you very much. Okay. Again, look, you're like, oh no, I have this huge long stair that's coming out, which actually looks kind of cool out there that far. That's really kind of neat. I was going to talk crap about my own self, but I actually like that a lot. So let's grab up some of the crimson brown yellowish mixture, come off the edge of that step, pull down till we hit something, and then we'll go down the side, right? And again, you want to go over it a few times. I don't like it to be so super, you know, the same color. You got to mix it up a bit. There we go. Yeah, that's a cool thing. You can even add like a statue on top of this, or a different kind of rock formation. Maybe it sticks up. It's like a little stone guardian that lives right there. Oh, little stone guardian man. Right, just hanging up. Bam. Oh, look, it's like two things. It's like a gateway that you have to walk through. It's like the Southern Oracle, you guys. Oh my goodness. It's not anything like the Southern Oracle, but you see what I mean. It's like a gateway to walk through. Oh my good heck.
The garage door was closed, and then the door to it, it was unlocked.
Okay, good.
And Mom said look out the window, and I already did it. Just looks really bad. Okay.
There we go. It's too bright up there. I really like it. It's like taking away from the brightness of everything as we move forward down here. Okay, back to our kind of goldish mixture. Pulling it to the side, trying to leave just a little flat area is all we're really trying to do. All right, and then maybe right here we come down and there's a whole nother piece of like a flat area or a change in direction. Gotta constantly be changing in direction. As Bailey constantly sneezers. She's a sneezer.
I'm trying to hold my breath.
There we go. That's cool, guys. That is so cool. Take this guy like that. This guy over here. We're going to highlight him some more before we forget, because Josh always forgets. Just very lightly with that kind of yellowish color, but over mixing it so it blends in and also keeping some dark areas. And that way everything stays nice and dark. Look at that scene. My goodness, I'll accept my award now. Thank you. Best painting ever. Thank you so much. That would be cool. Okay, a little bit of that crimson-y color. Again, yours will be different. Just mix it. Just play. If it's super bright, it's super bright. It's going to be fantastic. Look at this guy play out. Boom. Put a little bit of that color down there. Right, we're going to come back. So I don't want to do too much over here. Maybe on this side. Got a little bit of that. Just mushing it so that you get that little bit of color. Littlest bit. Don't want to have too much. You can always scrape it up and dump it somewhere else. Alright, I don't think we've washed a brush in like an hour and a half. All of my utensils are about the same color dark, so let's wash off these brushes. Everybody can catch up. Take a minute. Bailey, read me some comments. Read the comments. Who we got? Who we got? What's everyone's favorite sandwich? Hit Bailey with the sandwiches. Come on, guys. Make sure you're tapping on Facebook. Make sure if you're watching on YouTube that your little thumbs up is highlighted because you've clicked on it. You like it. You can always take these videos and share them around the world because we need your help reaching more audience. So we're reaching about 180,000 people on Facebook a day.
Moose said cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger? That's not a sandwich, Moose.
That's a kind of sandwich.
Cheeseburger. No, it's bread with cheeseburger inside.
What's a sandwich?
No, a sandwich is like peanut butter and jelly, right? Like bread with like deli meat. What's your favorite deli sandwich? Moose. He's like, oh, I don't know, a cheeseburger helper? That's not a sandwich. Okay, you can see the stairs. What does everyone think of the stairs? Do you guys like these? Do you like the stairs or no? I didn't know like the stairs. Did they say no? No one likes the stairs? Okay, we'll get rid of the stairs. Psych. You guys will watch because I paint what I like, right? Oh, look at that. That is so cool. Try not to pander. We don't really take, we accept photos and stuff. Please keep sending them. But what we decide to paint is inevitably on me at that time. And what we see in our minds at that moment could change, dramatically. So if you ever get an area where you have too much color like that, just take a little bit of darkness, stick it in between, and now you got two different steps. Are you hiccuping, Bailey?
I can't help it.
There we go. Okay, we're going to turn direction again. So we need to have a pronounced edge of our stairs. Okay, and then we're going to come in this way and start dropping them like this as we go down, and they're going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. They're going to come towards us. Almost done, guys. How long have we been going, B? I haven't even looked.
It says 1 hour
Oh, just an hour?
on the computer.
Just 1 hour. Okay, remember, keeping it dark. This is all in the shadow. You don't have to see all those stairs. Or all the sides of the stairs, anyway. That's in the shadow, guys. So let them fade off into nothing. Don't have to see everything. It's a creepy, spooky, shadowy mountain, right? We don't have to do nothing. For one, I don't think I would go up these stairs. What about you, babe?
Probably not.
You wouldn't go up these stairs either?
If it was that I would go up those stairs for like $1 billion, maybe.
$1 billion.
If you were to, everybody, so.
If everybody could donate $1 billion, Bailey will come and go up this crazy mountain pass. I don't know that we have that many fans, B.
Maybe not.
That might be a tough stretch. $1 billion, jeez. Every time I see something, I get like a cool idea, and I'm like, oh, this would look neat if it looked like that. And then I try to do it, and it doesn't look like I want it to look. And then you gotta sit and play with it.
Moose said
play with the
sandwich.
colors. What'd you say, B?
Moose said club sandwich.
Club sandwich. There, see, that's a sandwich.
Glenn said Philly's cheesesteak.
Philly cheese. There's a sandwich too.
And then
What about the Italian? Who likes the Italian sandwich? Like with the spicy hot red pepper, well, not just red peppers, but peppers. It's the spicy peppers. I have to get it with the hot peppers, the jalapenos, the banana peppers. They're so tasty. There we go. Putting a little bit of red in different areas, right? It's going to be 2 different planes when we start to pull it out. So we're going to go up the side very softly just to lighten it, to blur it, to become very soft. And then out here, we want to keep that dark line between the clouds and the actual ground here. And I bet you, oh yeah, it'd be this gorgeous pinkish color. Look at that. You don't even have to finish it all the way to the edge. Like all this darkness right here, you don't have to finish that. You don't have to paint anything back here. Totally fine. Totally fine. We do need just the smallest bit of this dark shadow back in here on the edge. So take a little bit of our dark brown. If you have a little bit of yellow in there, that's okay. You don't want to have a whole lot. It doesn't have to be super bright. It's not the focal point. The stairs are the focal point, so don't take away from the stairs when you go to do it. And that is cool. It's coming up. It's going this way. It's going straight across this way, then up, then up, then up into the cave. That's very cool. Very cool. Show me who's doing tutorials like this. No shop is doing tutorials like this.
Robert said grilled ham and cheese.
Grilled ham and cheese. That's my favorite too. I love you, Bailey. Bailey is my favorite sandwich. There we go. Add a little bit more of that straight dark brown just because I have to like it. And there has to be differences in color. There we go. Very, very, very cool. You can almost imagine that this wraps around and is part of that mountain chain, like it's a big S. Okay, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves, Joshy. We need some more paint. Brown, yellow, white. Mix them up. Not too much of each. This is going to be too bright. You'll be able to tell that it's too bright right away. So let's get some brown. Dump it in there, darken it up. Maybe a little bit of that crimson. There's the color we want. Now they're going to get brighter as they come because more light's hitting them. They're a little bit bigger. All right, take our little guy over here. Maybe one more step. This guy is maybe trying to grow. Becoming larger and larger and larger. Take a little bit of that black, put it down in here. Just to separate, give it a little bit of a lift. Give it a facelift over here. And then when we go across and we leave that little line of paint in different places, that's going to make it look round. Just like that. We have these cool little things all like that. Don't try to cover up all the darkness. That's not what you want. You want to have that dark spot. God, that thing's like floating. It's so cool. That's not the idea though. A little bit more dark just to help feed it down like it's a little pillar. Just to have that space in there. Alright, a little bit of the new stuff. Same color. A little bit bigger, a little bit different. More on an angle, right? We're kind of stepping out onto the stone. Very big compared to the other one. And not just a flat oval either. You can have it be a little bit, you know, kind of odd shapen because it's a strange, uneven stone, right? Take a little bit of our black and our crimson and blue, dump that off the side so we create, again, the darkness down underneath that you need to have in order to keep them separate. See what I mean? Then our last guy, why not? We'll put him out here. But again, keeping room to add that darkness underneath. And that guy looks so perfect, just the way he is. As I say that, I put on more paint. See that, man? I'm like, he looks so perfect, and then I keep changing it. There we go. All right, a little bit of that same dark, or just straight black in this instance. Down to Chinatown, you guys. Gotta fill it in. There we go. Very cool. Very cool little step action here. It's really neat. I really like this one. Especially this guy. I don't know how I just did it, but I got that color to kind of bleed off the edge. Don't want to do it in too many places though. It'll lose its effectiveness, right? Can't do it in too many places. Now they're just a bunch of uneven, crazy stones. Some crazy stones back there. There we go. All right, Bailey. Well, we should say goodbye to everybody, don't you think?
Are you done?
That's kind of cool. Let's do the sky. Actually, I don't even, we can do it.
And birdies. Do birdies.
Oh, we got to do the birds, yeah, but I'm talking about doing some stars in the sky. A few little stars here and there. Bing, bang, boom. Sometimes I'm touching so softly that I don't even touch the canvas. But you just keep moving on, you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be a perfect thing. Keep moving on, keep seeing where it hits. And if it hits in a certain place, cool. If not, that's cool too. You just keep moving. Trying not to be in like a straight line. And then you end up in a straight line everywhere. Like every time I try not to be in a straight line, that's the time when I'm literally painting straight lines. Okay, we're gonna make this guy a little big. Take our palette knife, just the small side, kind of line up in the dead center. Drag that paint up and down in a straight line. Line up in the dead center on this side. Go back and forth again. Get a little twinkling star off in the distance out there. Very cool little thing. Don't want to have too much paint in the center though. Nice soft little. And if you don't like it, watch this. Just becomes part of the sky in the background. You know what I mean? Or you could take that and take a littlest dot and go, okay, there's a galaxy way off back there that's creating that little bit of brightness. Very cool. This guy looks a little bit long for his britches. So, why don't we take our filbert brush and just make a comet out of him, right? A little bit of that downward pull though, same thing. Gotta have the downward pull. Gotta have a soft front, and then we can add the highlight color of our blasting off rocket, right? Our comet coming in to smash. Very cool. Make it round though, Josh. There we go. There we go. Just like that. You can add little bits of highlight, all sorts of things. Then again, just take your filbert brush, try to get it done in a couple swipes, and it'll look really neat. Man, very cool. Very cool, right over the edge of that star. The longer it grows, right? Kind of neat. Kind of neat to sit and play around every so often. All right, what if we did this? Since I don't like the way this looks. What if we made it into more clouds? See? Don't like the way something looks? Get rid of it. That's Josh's motto. Get rid of it, change it up, and then see something different and go, hey, it would look cool if this was like this. You go, yeah, that would look cool if it was like that. I agree. So far. Bam. Very cool. You could do the whole thing in clouds over here too if you wanted to, really. But don't overdo it. You gotta have it be nice. Any little bit of cloud, you can always make a little softer. Or just blend it until it all the way goes away. But it's very cool. What do you think, man?
I like it.
Bailey likes it. That's all I care about. A little more of that pink. Just so we can keep it a little bit brighter back there. Again, we should have done it before the stars. The stairs. Not the stars, the stairs, Josh. And you can always go back. If you end up hitting your stairs a little bit, you can go back and change it up. I just wanted to have a little bit of difference in color back there. So it looks like sand or some sort of something is coming down. And then again, we can always change the stairs if you end up getting them or hitting one of them or doing something. You can always adjust. Even with a big old brush like that. Very cool. Bam. Even looks like that one's melting. That's neat. That is neat, Bailey. Okay, well, let's get ready to say goodbye to everybody. And then we'll skedaddle on and do our own thingamabob. Very cool. Okay, I got all my stuff out. There we go. All right, guys. So, again, this painting is going to be available online on my Etsy store. And that is paintwithjosh.etsy.com.
Don't forget the birds.
All right, I'm not forgetting the birds. I'm trying to get the paint. There we go. So Paint with Josh is where you're buying it from. Etsy is the site that you're on, .com, and that'll be my site. Probably the best art site on Etsy. I don't want to toot my own horn or anything, but most definitely is. Hey, Mama's home.
At the right time, too.
Right? Mama's home. Gotta get a little bit, there's always just a little bit too much of that liquid white onto the brush for a first go. There we go. I like hiding the birds now, and people go, "Oh, you didn't paint the birds in that scene." I go, "Yeah, I did. They're right there. You just can't see them." Those ones look like trash. Oh my goodness. I might have to move places on that. Because those look like absolute trashola. Alright, let's see if we can't do it over here. Ah, much better. This is where they wanted to be. That's where they wanted to be. B.
Yeah.
That's where they wanted to be, B.
Hello.
Mommy!
Is there a scary outside? Was it raining?
What in the heck?
Yeah, if anybody has anxiety, don't give up caffeine.
Don't give up caffeine?
No.
I thought that's what you did, though.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like, stuff that didn't used to give me anxiety now gives me anxiety, and I don't know if I was just able to cover it.
Right. Yeah, just like push it down. So how many people we got watching, hon?
22 people on Facebook, 7 people on YouTube.
Excellent. Well, you came just in time because we were about to finish. And I think this one came out good. What do you think?
I like it.
Looks similar to
I'm
the
hungry.
looks similar to the one that we did this last Saturday. And that was the goal all along. Paint one similar to the one we did last Saturday. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in, for checking out the show. Now that London's home, we're going to go and watch a movie or do something. Snuggle. So, got to take advantage of snuggle time. All right, well, I want to thank you guys for tuning in, for checking it out, for watching and sharing and all the comments and all the love. And, you know, every time you guys try one of the videos and post it into the rooms, I really just am touched. I screenshot everyone and I save it for a big fan appreciation post. So, but like I said, until we see you guys again next time, either Friday night freestyles like tonight, Sunday mornings for Sunday Seascapes, or Wednesdays when we put these videos out. Dave, can you, I'm sorry to bother you. Wednesdays when we put the videos out, or 5 seconds from now when you restart this video and watch it over again and try to paint along with it. We want to say we love you and thank you and mwah, and anything else? I always forget. So, until we see you guys again next time, take care, have the rest of a good night, and pow! Everybody's like, why does he do that? What is that noise? Boom!